Welcome back to the Vires and Numeris Podcast, a Bryer, Bryer.io production. We're available on a ton of platforms over at Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, the whole lot. So check us out over at one of those platforms. Also available on YouTube.com under the channel name Pittsburgh Hodler. That's Pittsburgh, HODLR. You can find the podcast over there as well. Special thanks to our sponsors, and I'll go through that list here quickly. Vinxcoin is the world's first decentralized fine French wine and vineyard-backed security token offering where anyone can be a fine French wine and vineyard owner from the comfort of their home. Vinx removes high-cost entry to the fine and French wine vineyard ownership markets. Check out Vinxcoin at Vinxcoin.com. That's Vinxcoin.com. Trios. What is Trios? Trios is an economy and an ecosystem. Trios is direct reference to the decentralized money that will power a new economy. In the future, the term Trios will become synonymous with cryptocurrency and virtual financial assets, their payment methods, their ecosystem, and their general use as both a utility and store of value. The Trios economy and ecosystem have been designed to operate upon concepts of universal consensus, anchored to the stable price of gold, which effectively removes volatility from the cryptocurrency marketplace, one of the biggest existing obstacles to cryptocurrency mass adoption. Visit trios.io. That's TREOS.io. Charon Coins, you found the brick-and-mortar financial institution where you can safely trade dollars for Bitcoin, USD to BTC, over-the-counter, OTC, and person-to-person. We facilitate transactions of all sizes, including high-volume transactions. Their headquarters is located in Milwaukee, servicing the MKE areas of Lakefront, East Side, River West, and all of Wakazi County. More than just being an OTC location, they're here to educate you on Bitcoin, wallets, blockchain, cryptocurrency, security, and platforms. If you're in the Milwaukee area, you can also use their Bitcoin ATM, and more locations are coming shortly. Visit CHAROCOINS. That's charoncoins.com. Bitcoin SOV, Bitcoin Store of Value, is an emerging community-driven project that is a decentralized team the world over. It is a proof of work mineable ERC20 and has a deflationary design with token burns to ensure your value is stored over time. Check out their site where they're working on all sorts of interesting stuff. This project is completely decentralized across the world over at btcsov.com. Lucio Paletti is a digital artist and self-described propagandist. Known for his iconic Bitcoin artworks. Lucio's #1 goal is to spread the message that Bitcoin is better money. Check out luciopaletti.com. That's LucioPoletti.com. Bitcoin XRC is not a fork of Bitcoin. It is a new crypto asset, simple and transparent with long-term vision. With a long-term vision for investors and scarcity to help drive its value, there will only ever be 2.1 million XRC. Check out their project at bitcoinrh.org. Flashcoin is a reinvention and a new sponsor of the Vires and Numeris podcast. It's a reinvention of Litecoin, built to scale for the worldwide commerce and fast enough to handle everyday transactions. It's extremely fast. I've used it many times myself. They also have a really nice wallet where you can get in there and interact with merchants all over the world and see where they're selling their goods from. I really, really like what they're doing. The flexible and easy to integrate core code allows exchanges and wallets to add Flash to their platform within hours. With a settlement time of around 5 seconds and a consensus within 2 minutes, anyone or anywhere can use the Flash mobile wallet as easily as cash or with credit or as a credit card. Visit Flashcoin, that's FLASH coin.io. And remember, anything on this podcast is not financial advice and should not be interpreted as such. You are the captain of your own ship and are in control of your financial sovereignty. You steer your own way and do it at your own peril. Always do your own research. Thanks for listening to the Vires and Numeris podcast. And I really appreciate your time today. check out our website for all of the podcasts and ones that you maybe haven't checked out yet. Thanks a lot. Here's today's episode. Welcome to episode 8 of the Vires and Numeris Podcast. Today's guest is Rebecca. Many of you, I'm sure, know her as I Make Lemonade on Twitter. She has close to 10,000 followers on there. She's a great benefactor to the crypto community, co-founder of Blockchain in the Burgh, Litecoin proponent for a long time now. We'll find out how long. Litecoin Foundation volunteer and Crypto Campfire podcast coordinator. So thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. It's I've known you for like I don't know, maybe 2 years, something like that. We've been probably Twitter friends.
Yeah, it's been talking a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while now. So I guess I'll start in the beginning here. Today is March 5th, 2020, and Bitcoin is just under $9,100. I'm going to start adding that into every episode for posterity reasons.
Good.
So somebody's watching in the future, they can see how early we still were to this, even 11 years in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So where did you, I always start in the beginning of everyone's story. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in a rather small town called Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It was like a mini Pittsburgh back in the day when the steel mills were still up and running. Bethlehem Steel was a huge corporation, and then in the 80s, as we know, all that manufacturing went away. Mm-hmm. And Johnstown never really recovered, where Pittsburgh has recovered greatly, but it took a long time for that to happen. So went to school at Penn State University and been in Pittsburgh for like 12 years now. That's
something I didn't know about you. You're a Nittany Lion?
I am, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought about going to Penn State. I went to Ohio State.
Yeah,
I've always been kind of a Penn State fan. I've always been a Penn State fan, though. I always liked Penn State a little bit.
That's cool. I like that we're the Big Ten together.
Yeah.
That's a great rivalry, yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a brotherhood or whatever, Big Ten brotherhood.
For sure.
Nice. So what did you study at Penn State?
Early childhood education.
Oh, okay. All right. So you wanted to be a teacher?
Yeah, I did. I really wanted to. And I got out of school. I had my son. I never got a full-time job teaching, and I had to switch careers. I got divorced, and I had to make money. So now I buy nuclear power plant components.
Oh, okay. Very nice. I don't know anything about that business, but I'm sure it's super interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very challenging for sure, but it's a fun career.
I'm going to have to pick your brain about that after the podcast. Have you always been interested in technology? When did you get interested in tech?
Wow. Not really. I mean, I remember taking a class, like maybe my last year of high school, which is like 1987, and just learning a little bit about computers. And then didn't really, since I wanted to be a teacher, didn't really focus on any of that in school. And then the year before I graduated, which 1989, is the first time I sent an email. And I was kind of pissed because I just wanted to go to class and like get the information, but we had to use the email to respond with the teacher to get the class. And I'm like, what is the point of this? Just write it on the board like we've always done.
Right.
And it just, like I said, I got married, I had my child, and then kind of forgot about it, and didn't really get into it until I got my own computer, and then my son really kind of started teaching me a little bit more. So
that's cool. That's pretty cool. What about economics? Did you ever get into economics big or no?
No, no. I was totally focused on, I was going to study babies and, learn about their habits and behavioral sciences and all that fun stuff. And got sidetracked somewhere and ended up here. So,
all right. So now I have to hear the story about how you found Bitcoin and Litecoin, because if you weren't real interested in money, what's that story sound like?
Yeah, so in 2015, my son he's a PhD candidate. He's still in school. He should be done one more year. But he did his master thesis on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And so when he came home that Christmas, I keep forgetting I think it was 2015. Yeah, it has to be 2015. When he came home, he had wanted me to watch this documentary called The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. And he wanted to explain it to me. And so we sat down together, and I was fascinated. I just thought it was like, I don't understand this. We need, teach me more.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat down, he made a paper wallet with me. He sent me some Bitcoin, and that's what really launched me into this amazing community.
That's super cool that your son got you into it.
Yeah. And now he thinks I know more than him. So.
That was my next question. Have you superseded his knowledge?
Well, I definitely kept up with it more since he moved on into cannabis policies.
Okay.
So he still is very much into cryptocurrency. He's helping a project called Slips. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's relatively new, but it's basically gaming.
Okay.
And that you can use the coin to build your own fantasy teams. So kind of like fantasy football, but for gamers. And I thought that was kind of cool. So he has a friend he's helping with that. But yeah, he definitely got me very interested and taught me a lot. But I kind of keep him up to date on some of the things now.
That's cool that he's into gaming too. I think World of Warcraft was like, even before Bitcoin, maybe that's when people realized that there was a desire for digital items.
Yeah.
Some of these digital games. Yeah.
When he got into this Slips thing, he was just like, never in my life. I mean, he was playing video games. He's 29. He was playing online with friends. He's like, never in my life would I think somebody would pay somebody to bet on somebody playing a video game against another person. So that's really fascinating.
Yeah, he must know a lot about he must have known a lot even back then about Bitcoin and stuff to know how to make a paper wallet though.
Yeah, he did. He actually knew about it when he was at he went to Penn State too, of course.
Oh, nice.
He knew about it, but he didn't know how to buy it. He had a little bit of interest in it, and then he really started to get interested in it, and that's what led him to his thesis. So
have you gone to any conferences together, or have you met him there at any of them?
No, I'm actually hoping. Last year he couldn't go to the Litecoin Summit. That was the first conference that I went to. But this year, depending on where it is, I will be there again, and hopefully he and his wife, I don't know if his wife will really want to come, but she can hang out with my husband and
you gotta bring her into crypto next, I guess.
She's not interested.
So how long after your son started teaching you about Bitcoin did you find Litecoin?
Oh, I would say about a year after. It was Coinbase. I had my app, and I saw Ethereum. That's the second one that I started to try to understand. And then Litecoin was on there, and I was like, I don't know, it was like $15, or I don't even know how much. It wasn't very much. I was like, all right, I'll get a couple of those because it's not that much money. I don't know anything about it, but and then I really dove into Ethereum, and I was really fascinated, of course, through the whole ICO boom and all that kind of stuff. I learned a lot about it, and I'm in supply chain, so that intrigued me to like smart contracts and how you can kind of take the middle person out and make my job easier.
Nice, yeah. That's what the whole space is for, in my opinion, make the world more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, then there was just something about Litecoin that just really dragged me in and went down.
Did you hear something that Charlie Lee said? There's, he's given I think a few speeches, but he does some interviews and stuff. What was that conversion like? You seem to be more into Litecoin than anything else. Is that fair to say, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really more into Bitcoin. But Litecoin is like a close second, or maybe slightly, right? But I really got into Litecoin deeply in 2017 because I just thought I wanted to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is the point of having this if you can't even use it? And I thought Bitcoin is so promising, and I don't really want to spend that,
right.
Because that's something that I want to hold on to. And so I started to try to find a place where I could spend the Litecoin. And that's when I met John Kim and John Moore online, and it just sort of spiraled out of control from there. So that's when I did that video at the festival and at my neighborhood, and I was able to buy sandwiches with the Litecoin, and I just really got involved with the community, and I think that's like really where my heart is. You know, I love the people that are in the Litecoin community, and we all kind of somehow just found each other, and it's really fascinating, but we all kind of had the same thought, you know, like, let's use this. Let's actually make another currency that you can take anywhere, and you don't have to pay fees on it whenever you go to Europe, and you can actually just use it like money. So
right, yeah, that's actually the second one that I got into too. So, Litecoin was pretty close there. There was another one that I found back really early, and it was called Court Coin. I don't know if you ever heard of Court Coin, but it didn't last long. Like, it still might be out there, but I don't know whatever happened to Court Coin. It didn't.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah, but it's very interesting because Litecoin's been around since 2011. I mean, it's one of the very few that have made it through, you know, these bull and bear markets like Bitcoin. Right. So it has the staying power clearly, and the drive from the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny that you bring up some of these coins, because I started to dabble in the ICOs. My son was like warning me, like, don't spend too much of your Bitcoin or your Ethereum on that. Right. So I wanted to learn about them, and you know, I picked about 8 different coins and just kind of read the papers, and I don't know, I just thought it was cool. Plus, I got to learn how to use an exchange, because I was always in Coinbase, and I was like, well, if I send some Ether to this exchange, then I can buy some of these other fantastic coins.
A lot of people are like anti-ICO now, but I think that was like you did. I think that's like a good thing to like get out there and like learn more about like other projects and stuff. That fits into the next question. What do you think about all the toxicity today? You know, there's so many maximalists. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's really upsetting, because isn't the whole point of cryptocurrency to pick what works for you? Right. You know, you're not there to tell everybody else what to do. You're doing your own research. You're finding out what fascinates you, and maybe something that fascinates you doesn't have to fascinate everybody else. So I don't see why there has to be maximalist, but you know, it's terrible. You try to make people feel bad. My partner at the meetup, Laura, is very big into Digibyte, and I didn't know much about it. And then people will see me with like a t-shirt with Digibyte on and be like, that's a crap coin. You know, I'm like, why do you have to? That's not necessary. Yeah. Like, fine. I mean, don't be rude.
I just wish people would let the tribalism die with the fiat. You know, it's like, this is supposed to be all about the free market, to me at least. I don't know if these people don't understand economics or what, but the competition is good for Bitcoin. You know, it's like, well, these people have no reason to develop the project further if everyone just says, you know, this is it. You know, it's like you only use one application on your phone. Like, I would like to ask all these people that, like, there's so much more out there to be done. It's weird.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So what are your thoughts on the progress that has been made since the last time we had a bull market? Do you think that we've made a lot of ground, made a lot of moves in the 3 years or whatever it was?
Well, I know that there's still a lot of things like Mimblewimble and new kinds of things that have come up that I think are very interesting that I don't know that much about, and I'm ready to learn more about. I like that the price seems to be steady for Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, we have these huge jumps back and forth occasionally, but it's just nice to kind of see it growing slowly. Yeah. And that gives people, maybe some people, a little more comfort that wouldn't necessarily want to join in when you have these dramatic spikes. I mean, we went from 20 to 3,600 or something.
I think it even got down to 3,100. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my husband's just like, I don't even want to know. I'm like, don't worry, it'll be back, you know? So, right. But yeah, new things keep coming up, and that's what keeps the projects fascinating for me. And I just want to continue to learn. In fact, the David Burkett, who's working on Mimblewimble for Litecoin, is coming to one of our meetups to present. So I'm really excited about that. And I think a lot of people will want to hear about that too. So
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to hit that one. I'm glad you let me know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's in April. I'll let you
Okay.
know.
Yeah, because that was you actually just jumped the next question was, what are your thoughts on the progress of Litecoin and Mimblewimble? So you nailed that.
Well, now I read minds, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
I think I'm really excited because I like Litecoin a lot, and I think it's like one of the best as far as like a medium of exchange, but I haven't been as passionate about it recently. So I am really passionate about Mimblewimble and privacy. So I think this is like a really big deal for Litecoin. I think this is a step in the right direction for them.
Yeah.
It adds more utility, to the project.
Absolutely. And I don't understand how they say you're going to have the option to use Mimblewimble or not. That's what I need to understand, and hopefully there'll be some clarity in that.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear more about that. So I'd like to make sure I get to that one, or at least listen to it for sure. What you want to tell people when you have those meetups while we're on that topic?
Sure. So we meet the last Thursday of every month. We just started doing them August last year, but we've had a variety of people, including RL was our January, and very well attended too. It was great. I put it up on meetup.com. I advertise it in any free newspaper that I can advertise on. We're trying to get more reach into the Carnegie Mellon and University of Pittsburgh. And I think with David coming, we're going to try to do that at Pitt if possible.
Nice.
So that way we can get some more students that are interested in these things to come. So we generally have them on the north side of Pittsburgh in a classroom setting, and that's why we want people to come in and present, ask questions, and then afterwards we go out and have fun.
Yeah, when I got to speak, you were nice enough to invite me to speak, and I spoke up there last month, and it was like, or I guess it was technically a month ago, but yeah. When I spoke, and I was like pretty shocked, and all the I think I answered like a half an hour questions after. Like that was the most attentive audience I've ever seen. I was like just shocked. It was pretty cool to have all those people asking questions afterwards. They're pretty passionate.
There are, and there's some people who come every time. We have a gentleman that comes from Youngstown, Ohio, which is like an hour and a half, and he's come regularly, and his kids come, his grown children, but he asks really good questions, Joe.
Okay.
Trying to find out what RL stood for.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know Joe. Yeah, okay, yeah. He asked me like 50 more over dinner. Yeah, I remember him. He's a nice guy.
He is, and he is truly interested in learning a lot. And I mean, it's great. We have people that are 20 some years old up to 80 years old that come, and it's just been great. It's so nice to meet new people and to hear where their passions lie, and it's just been so much fun. I love it.
Absolutely. I hope that you do get the universities involved somehow, because that could be even bigger for the people that are there,
Right, absolutely.
At the schools. I'm sure there's a lot more students today interested in blockchain than when I was still, in college.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think Carnegie Mellon does have a blockchain club. I don't know what that consists of. So
nice.
It just would be nice to touch base, and not only to have them come to our meetup, but for me and other people at our meetup to have other opportunities to look at different options too. People might be talking more about Bitcoin specifically rather than all these other topics that we cover. So.
Absolutely. I commend you for what you're doing with that.
Thanks.
Yeah. So where do you see, shifting gears here, where do you see the future of Bitcoin and cryptos? Do you think that we're going to live in a world without fiat someday?
That's hard for me to imagine. I think that the paper money will eventually go away, and it'll mostly be like Venmo or something like that. And hopefully I do think that Bitcoin and Litecoin, that will be part of it. I don't know if the US dollar will ever really just completely go away. And if it does, it probably will be a long time from now. Because if you're talking to college students and they're just learning about Bitcoin now. I don't know. I don't know what that curve is.
Right.
I'm not sure. But
I kind of think we're like, I don't know. I don't know if that'll ever happen like we wanted to, but I think we're going to take more and more of that. I think more and more money is going to flood into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Maybe I could see a world definitely where it's like half and half, or Bitcoin becomes the world reserve. I think that's definitely going to happen where like Bitcoin's like the world's money and the dollar loses. Like it might still have the world status, by the governments, but really in reality, Bitcoin or something else would be the reserve currency. What do you think?
That would be amazing, and I think that to have a global currency, that's what's really just the coolest thing to think about. Like that everybody has the same opportunity and the same buying power, or it's just, it opens up so many ideas and it opens up so many options for people, and I really hope that happens. I hope that it's an option for everyone. I like that India and South Korea, or
right.
The news this past week has been really exciting, and yeah.
Since I mentioned we're recording this for posterity as well. There's the Supreme Court of India just released news yesterday or the day before that they're the ban or whatever. They're embracing crypto finally. So that's 18% of the world's population that is now on board with crypto. And then today, South Korea, also something similar happened there where they're now embracing crypto. So it's like all of these countries are figuring out that they can't, they're going to fall by the wayside if they decide, just to ban crypto altogether.
Right. Absolutely.
So what are your predictions? Oh yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. You can finish your thought.
No, that's okay. I just thought it's really cool. I mean, I think that South Koreans is it ICX, or they're it's not even really Bitcoin. I think it's like a particular other coin, but I don't know. Every part of the world has their own their thought process, and that's why more people that join in, the better it's going to be.
That is one thing. I've met a lot of good friends through you, by the way, which is awesome. But one being Philip Kennedy with Kennedy Finance. But I've met so many cool people around the world. Like I talk to people all over the world, and I know I wouldn't talk to even 0.1% of people I talk to if it wasn't for Bitcoin. Yeah. It's like in blockchain, it's like there is a desire throughout the entire world for a new form of money, and I think this is just like going to keep catching on like fire. It's it's bringing us all together.
It is. It really is. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, I talk to people in Australia, in England, in India, and I mean, it's just amazing the reach that we have and the commonalities that we have. And I think that we've lost that a lot, that we don't think that we have a lot in common anymore. People are always bickering about things, but everybody just wants the same stuff at the end of the day. So it's really cool that you meet people and you go, hey, we are so much alike. Even if we have different thoughts, we are very much alike in certain ways. So.
Right. The internet made the world a smaller playground, and now blockchain's making it even smaller, I feel like. So this is going to be fun to watch what happens in this decade, which brings me to my next question here. What are your predictions for the next 24 months? I'm talking like price and just basically everything. And then I want to know after that, I'll get to that next. But what do you think is going to happen? Because this is like the fun speculation part that, I have to ask. Some people don't like to talk price, but I want to know. Where is Bitcoin going to go? Where is Litecoin going to be in 24 months?
24 months. Well,
or at the end of this bull cycle here, I think that'll probably be like 21 months away.
Okay. I have to give you credit for making me so bullish, because I watch your countdown every day on Twitter, and you count down the days, you give the price. You always have a very positive, optimistic viewpoint, but I still see people with very negative kind of viewpoints. So it's nice to see.
Thank you.
Yours. Yeah, I really look forward to it because I feel comfort in it. It's all going to be okay. But,
yeah, I'm calming everyone's nerves, hopefully. That's my goal with those tweets.
I think that, oh, man, I would like to see 6 figures. I think that would be my hope. That would just be like the coolest thing ever. I don't think it's ever, personally, I don't think it's going to be $1 million of Bitcoin. I can't wrap my head around that. I can see, I mean, since we lived to the 20,000s, through the 20,000s, obviously it's going to hit that again. It's always gone up no matter what. It's gone past the all-time high. So I think that that's going to happen hopefully this year. I mean, that would be fantastic. But I would say that we have the potential, and this is all speculation because I don't know, but I would like to say 6 figures, 100,000 Bitcoin would be pretty awesome.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I don't.
That's why I like talking to you.
Yeah, I'm like an eternal bullish person, I guess. Yeah. I think we're definitely going to see, definitely. There are no absolutes, but I think there's a good chance we'll see 50,000. I think 65,000 is like where I think we're going to go. But I could see maybe if everyone just loses their mind and like your grandma is buying Bitcoin, I could maybe see it's going to 100,000. I don't know if we're ready for that yet, but it could happen. We still have 21 months, like I said, if I'm right about this time frame. So what do you think like the next 10 years will what's going to unravel? Do you think that we're going to be using crypto everywhere we go? Do you think it will be just like the government's going to completely embrace it, or what do you think about that?
I think that the government will try to come up with something that competes with this, which I don't think, I mean, what's the point? It doesn't really matter if it's a USD currency, cryptocurrency, it's the same thing as holding your dollar, right? But I think they'll try to compete, just like Libra was like, oh, this is such a great idea. Well, it's not, it wasn't anything spectacular. It was just calling it like Libra. I don't know, like it's like airline miles to me. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like, well, this is fancy. We'll give you a couple Libras if you buy Starbucks or whatever. So, but I think in the next 10 years, I personally think I'll be spending Litecoin on whatever I want and shop with it. I think Bitcoin will be available. I think other things will be available too. I think there'll be pluses and minuses to each of those. But yeah, I mean, we already see people buying houses with Bitcoin or travel or things. So why not? And then you see things like Lolly and Fold app and Pay. That introduces people. Like my sister's really not into it, but I was like, hey, sign up for this stuff. Just make it, just get it. And I'll put it in your wallet for you. We can learn about it together. But it opens up that conversation. And I think things like that are going to continue to progress. I think that Speedin wallet that Gemini or that Flexa HQ has, I think that's going to be really interesting to see where they're taking it. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I know which one you're talking about. I haven't used it personally. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that having, these little gift cards in your app, I don't think that's what they set out to do. There's some bigger picture that we don't know about yet. So
I tend to agree with you. I think this is like these like debit card, crypto cards and stuff. This is just like a stepping stone to like full, blown. Everyone, is using crypto. Like they don't even think about it anymore, which is like how the internet, like you talked about earlier, like it was a pain to send an email. It was like you were like, so you didn't even want to think about it. And there's people still like that. We're still really early in blockchain space. And there's still a lot of people that are like, they don't even want to hear about it. We don't think about that because we're I'm so entrenched in it. It's like, I don't really know anyone like that or associate. I know people like that, but I don't associate with them. But there are people still out there that are scared.
I have like people I work with that I'm close to, they know that I'm into this. And I have a mug or a tumbler, a coffee tumbler that has a Bitcoin sign on it. And somehow it came up, and this manager came walking past my desk a couple months ago, and she's like, Bitcoin, like I've come this far. I don't need to know anything about it. And here. And I was like, that's fine. That's more for me.
Yeah. Stay ignorant on it. It's like, it's like some people have such a bad attitude about stuff. It is Revenge of the Nerds in some ways, though. Not that we're nerds, but I think that, as we've seen already in the tech era, it's like the nerdy tech geeks that really love love technology and now crypto are like the ones that are going to be your boss here soon. So maybe she got lucky. She's a little bit older and she doesn't have to worry about it. I don't know. I don't know how old she is, but she better hope that like one of us aren't her boss in a few years.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this crypto thing gets me off and doing something else and I'll be my own boss somewhere.
There you go.
That's my goal.
Yeah, I'm sure you could come up with some good crypto idea. You probably already have it.
Maybe. It's always something to think about,
Yeah, well, when you're ready to share it with us, I'll have you back on.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate your time today. That's all I had for this episode, but I wanted you to come on, and I hope you'll do it again sometime.
Thank you. I absolutely will. It's always a pleasure talking with you. And I will be looking for your tweet tomorrow morning about how great Bitcoin is doing.
Yeah, it'll be followed by this podcast, or it'll be before it. So thanks for coming on. Awesome. I'll say goodbye to you here in a second.
Okay, thanks.